In the shadow of the Gateway Arch, we get back on the oval today. This, a place where the echo of IndyCar horsepower still resonates through the grandstands. Championship dreams loom large as the drivers prepare for round 7 at Gateway Motorsports Park in the Absolute Beginners IndyCar League, featuring the new Dallara IR-18 IndyCar. Coming at you live from the land of Lincoln. Welcome back for another GSRC presentation. I'm your host today, Sean Ambrose. And in the chair next to me is Justin Prince. In the director's chair, the doctor of pit topology himself, I'm Jed Yaman, twisting and tweaking the dials for us with cameras located, aimed, zoomed, and focused by GSRC's camera guru, Dougie Beard. Over the next few minutes, we'll get you up to speed with the Absolute Beginners Indy League and what they have in store for us today. But last time in the ABIL, the drivers took on the challenge of navigating sea breeze, bumps, and turns. Jan Schwitter steamrolled his way to victory and vaulted himself into the championship lead by doing so. Austin Espiti had a great showing to bring his car home in second, but it was Joao Valverde with a most impressive drive to bring his IR-18 home on the podium. That podium yielded the most fortunate run up the points ladder at just the right time. Now, let me introduce my friend Justin and let him talk to you a little bit about Gateway Motorsports Park.
Thank you very much, Sean. Of course, Gateway has been an integral part of the Midwest motorsports scene since its opening in 1967, but it's seen a heck of a lot of changes since then, which started in 1971 with an 1/8 of a mile drag strip and an expansion to a quarter-mile racetrack. In 1985, a 2.6-mile road course was built, with parts of that drag strip serving as straightaways on 2 separate parts of the circuit. But in 1995, a new owner, Formula One and kart promoter Chris Pook, bought the facility and promptly tore up that entire 2.6-mile road course, replaced it with this track, a 1.25-mile oval and 1.6-mile infield road course that exists, of course, as of today. The 1.25-mile course is a favorite to many of the drivers who race there due to its unique shape and different degrees of banking in each corner. For turns 1 and 2, it's similar to what you see at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, while in turns 3 and 4, it's similar to what you see with Phoenix International Raceway. The track's egg-like shape is reminiscent to what you see at the oval at Twin Ring Motegi. But why don't we go to the track itself? Let's take a quick trip around Gateway Motorsports Park to see what to expect for today's race.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global SimRacing Channel. I'm Brian Yazik, taking you for a spin around the Gateway Motorsports Park in the GSRC DW12 IndyCar. So here we go. Gateway is a fun little flat track in the one end, and then with a little bit more banking off into 1 and 2 here. So as you'll see, really tight, narrow radius. Kind of find the bottom here. Don't hit those rumble strips, or this car will step out in a heartbeat. Back out towards the fence. Watch out for this little indent right there. I've seen it claim plenty of people in the public races. Turn 3 is a bit more inviting. You can really float it down to the bottom. You almost want to drive it flat out, but it just doesn't quite have enough grip for that. Back down the start-finish straight, underneath the line, back down into turn 1. Now you might see guys drift up here just a little bit to get a straighter shot off of the corner. Maybe to try to set up a pass heading off into turn 3. But turn 3 is pretty much going to be the same no matter what. Float it in here, let it find the middle bottom, straight off of the corner, off of 4, down the front straightaway, across the line, and that's going to complete your track guide around the Gateway Motorsports Park in the GSRC DW12 IndyCar. I'm Brian Yazik. Enjoy the show.
A quick trip around Gateway Motorsports Park in the Dallara DW12. The IR-18 had trouble in scrutineering today, and, well, we're talking to our team director about what's going on here, but apparently we had some parts that were unapproved. I don't know what's going on. Folks, we'll get right on that. Race fans, in the Absolute Beginners Indy League, there are 2 championships, one for the individual drivers and a second for teams. Teams are limited to no more than 2 drivers. Let's take a swim through those championship standings now. let me introduce my good friend Dawson Brock with us here this week. We're going to go with a three-man booth today. So Dawson going to bring in the driver's standings real quick.
All right, so as you see on your screen, Jan Schwitter, the man up on top at 168 points. Now drivers do get 3 drop weeks, and at this point drivers have used 2 of the 3. Now Henry Bennett just behind Jan, 7 back. Liam Quinn, Andrew Kinsella have a great battle going on right now. Just 1 point separate them. And just at the bottom of your picture, Yal Valverde back 53 points. So a very good fight here up at the top for this drivers' championship.
Yeah, Joao having that big run last week. It moves him all the way up into 5th in the points. He climbed 7 points up the 7 places up the championship standings to get there. So Joao Valverde, I'm trying to see, is he here in the field today? And it does not look like he's made it to the oval here today. And that's, boy, that's a killer. But let's look at the team standings real quick here. Maximum Attack, they're at the top, 276 points. And a good run from them so far. They climb up into the top after last week's performance. Petronas, Jan Schwitter, Ali Polka, they're just 4 points behind. I'm looking for either one of them today. And I see, well, folks, I'm going to be honest. There's a lot of drivers that have not made it in yet today. I don't know if they're going to make it. It's going to be an opportunity for a lot of teams. And Logical, Vortex Sim Racing, 32 points behind here. They came up 8 spots in the points after last week's run. Constantini Noijax there in 3rd. Snoopy Dog Motorsports 4th right now, 83 points back, and they climbed to that spot. Last Lap Motorsports, Lockdown Racing there. Novak Kingsbury finding it a little bit tougher there, sliding 2 points back, 2 spots back, and now 96 points out of the lead here in the team standings. Justin, why don't you go ahead and take us through the race details, let everybody know what we're in for today.
Thank you very much. Of course, this is round number 7 of 12 for the season, going back and forth between road course to oval once every 2 weeks. Today, of course, we're on the oval side for 120 laps, 150 miles behind the wheels. Of course, you do have cautions, and of course, you do have open setups with no fuel restrictions, meaning you got to make sure you have the most fuel because the maximum fuel stints for today is about 48 to 52 laps for 2 stops. Give or take that. Maybe 3 if you're really risking it, but should expect everyone for sure to go for the 2 stops. You do have an incident cap of 20x as well. That could come into play because a lot of drivers today in qualifying and practice, they've been struggling a lot out of turn number 2. That could become a big-time play by the time the green flag flies tonight.
Yeah, you know, it really could. Now, let's face it, if you wind up smacking the wall in this IR-18, you're going to be in for heavy damage. There is no fast repair here in the ABIL, and so that won't be a factor for these drivers tonight. Let's talk about the weather real quick. It is clear under nighttime conditions. It is warm on track, 90 degrees. Certainly this track, you want to have a lot of grip here to manage this odd configuration. Certainly tires to be a factor. Right now, qualifying has started, just 2 minutes left. Couple cars left on track. Let's see. Fabian Jungbluth is out there right now. No, he just came in. Let's see. How many laps? We had 3-lap qualifying session here. Right now, Randolph Cheneth at the top with a 24.5, guys.
Yeah, that's a blistering time for sure right now. That's about a 1/10 of a second too faster than the rest of the fast runners, basically. So he's somebody that's really had a decent pace in practice and qualifying as well. But we do, of course, have one car that hasn't recorded a time lane for the very last minute. He's on your screen right now, and Matt Kingsbury. So he needs to put together some good times. Was in the 24.8s in practice. That would be about the top 10. We'll see what he can do on his laps.
Yeah, I'm sure this was planned by design here for Matt to wait until the end, kind of get an idea where everybody was and see if he could take a run at it here. He's cranking it up here on his opening lap.
And if you've watched previous broadcasts, you know that the Kingsburys are very fast on these ovals, Matt especially. So I would expect top 5, top 10 time right here.
Yeah, I would certainly consider their forte a little bit heavier on the oval side. Matt going to come across here, and that's good enough for 13th. Let's see what he can do here with one more lap under his belt. Only car on track right now taking a lap. Solo qualifying. He'll be the last with the time. It's pretty good. I don't think it's going to be fast enough, though.
Yep. Yep, a 24.939. Yeah, that's not fast enough. Slower, in fact, than what he had in practice. So he just couldn't get the run he needed to there. Just beat the gun there, too, for the end of qualifying. But now I think it's time we head to the racetrack.
All right, let's do it here. And, well, we'll go with Randolph Cheneth there on the pole. A great qualifying effort for him. Henry Bennett there on the front row with him there in second. Justin?
In row number 2, as you see, is Miguel Rugenbrink right now with Andrew Kinsella right now. Of course, behind them, Jamie Wilson, Liam Quinn as well. Quinn, of course, having a good run for the season. Matt Kingsbury and Ray Kingsbury both will share row number 4 with David J. Burns and Johan Vanderbeld in behind them. Dawson?
Dave Walsh going to sit in 11th. Thomas Kick going to be right outside with him on the 12th spot. Dennis Gresson, 13th. Fabian Youngblunt, 14th. James King and Timu Toika going to round out the last row.
All right, fellas, here we go. The Ford Mustang pace car lined up out there on track. Everybody starting to fill into the grid here. Waiting on Kinsella and the Kingsburys here. Ray's just now got in the car. And Matt, Andrew, Kinsella still trying to get themselves sorted out. Listen, we've got some great oval races here. Andrew Kinsella, of course, fans here at GSRC, familiar with his name from the Lionheart IndyCar series. And we know he is fast on the ovals. The Kingsburys have a history themselves here of being fast oval racers. You know, Johan Vanderbeld probably recognized a little bit more for his ability on the road. But trust me, folks, Johan is no slouch behind the wheel in any car. Look for him to be fast today. And Jamie Wilson, don't want to count him out, or Liam Quinn. They'll be your big contenders from the UKNI. And Henry Bennett looks for a solid run here in the 007 machine. Here we go, pulling off, guys, here at Gateway Motorsports Park.
This should be an absolutely good race for sure, because you have a good mix of oval drivers and road drivers. And as well, even some of the road drivers, like you mentioned, Vanderbeld, for example, he has set some pretty good pace on his own during practice, trying to get himself acquainted with the racetrack. It's just a matter of making sure he doesn't go too fast through the apex, for example, and swing the car around like he did a couple times in the later parts of the session once this track rubbers up here, as this is a few moments away from what should be an exciting one for sure, Brock.
Yeah, and I think one of the big keys for this race is going to be keeping your car clean. We've seen multiple times these oval races can get very dirty. I think some of them guys in the back, you don't need to have the pace necessarily to get a solid top 5 finish today.
All right, boys, here we go. Ford Mustang pace car coming through the center of the turn now. Randy Cheneth getting ready to lead him down the front stretch here at Gateway Motorsports Park. Pace car is in. Here we go. Randy is away on the loud pedal across the line. The race is on. Here we go. Already with a little bit of contact there. Back in the third row. Bennett off to a good start. He's going to get away clean. Most of the field looks to drop in here. Line of stern, guys. Cheneth with the big start, though, is on it. Gets a 2/10 advantage on Henry Bennett. Here comes Kinsella.
Yeah, getting that slipstream, you see, and he's going to easily get to the bottom side on that preferred line. But this could still be a battle for the position, because that outside line, you see it there, Bennett couldn't keep the speed without getting close to getting into contact. He has to slip his way to third, because now he's also going to have to go to defense mode. Liam Quinn's right behind him.
Yeah, Liam Quinn and Michelle Rugenbrink picking it really tough on the high side. He's going to be able to take over that spot, and Jamie Wilson going to follow him right behind him. So they go side for the lead.
Ooh, Kinsella almost making contact there with Kenneth. Kinsella slips back in line here, back to second. He tried to make that run to the front, but it didn't work for him. Henry Bennett hanging on just behind. Rugenbrink trying to make a move on him. The caution's out. Oh, James King goes sliding around. Hits the wall hard. King out of turn 4.
Wow.
This is exactly what I was talking about, losing control in the apex and just swinging around. In this case, King, he just went around like a 360, smashed his car up. He's definitely nearly total. I think someone on the front wing as well might have bumped him as he was spinning right around here. So, couple car incident here as you're seeing up on your screen.
Yeah, and you're going to see Dennis Garrison's actually going to clip him as he goes by. That was the purple and white car. Garrison going to lose half of his wing. He's certainly going to need repair. King, though, is going to have a heavily damaged car to come back with on board with Garrison here as he tries to slip by. And not quite. Just not quite. They're going to have to replace the front wing on that car. And here we go. Car is coming down to the pit lane now. Nobody up front. This is just everybody really caught behind that mess. I'm afraid King's car is going to be done here, guys.
Yeah, he's definitely totaled at this point. It's going to take at least a few minutes, at the very least, to even try and get the minimum repairs with this. So he's going to just have to be on recovery mode from here on out, basically, as they pop on some quick repairs, but he's still going to lose a heck of a lot of time.
Well, Dawson, only 5 laps into the race. Cheneth does a pretty good job of staying at the front after, holding off a couple of charges from Kinsella.
Yeah, and James King's rolling off with a brand new car, guys. So, the series has had quick repairs at some races and not in others. So I don't know. I'm assuming he used a quick repair. There's no way the crew fixed that car.
Okay, well then maybe. Yeah, my info screen showed 0, so I don't know. Maybe there is a fast repair involved, and I just missed the update on that. Sorry, guys.
No, we've been told. I know we've asked about it, and they've said that they don't have them. So I don't know. I guess we're the ill-informed ones here.
Maybe so, and maybe that hit wasn't as hard as we thought, and it simply resulted in a nose cone change on the car. So, no worries. We'll let James get back out here and run. James is bad fast himself, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him make a run back towards the front. But as we were seeing here early, passing certainly going to be at a premium, isn't it, guys? You're going to have to set that up.
Yeah, you're going to have to. You definitely so. And pardon me for cutting you off for a second, Dawson, where if you don't time it up to where you get the pass in the best corner possible, which is currently looking like 3 and 4, you're not going to be able to make it stick because it's very tight for 1 and 2. So if you don't spend a couple laps using the slipstreams and timing things out, you're going to lose a few spots when you have to drop back to single file. So got to definitely be patient. Wouldn't you agree, Dawson? Yeah,
I think you hit it right on the nail. Getting that exit, I think that's going to be really important. Making sure you time your runs out, like you said. Boy, if you can get that run and maybe even arc it just a little bit extra, get that car to bite down and get out of the corner, that's what it's going to take to get some of these guys like Cheneth. I mean, boy,
here we go, boys.
You've seen him.
Cheneth screams across the line. The green flag is out. We are back underway. Rolling again here at Gateway Motorsports Park with the ABIL. And already Kinsella looks to challenge. Looking to the inside here, going into 3. He's going to get it. Cheneth's going to let him have it. Now Cheneth gets to ride in that dirty air back there. Don't know if that's where I want to be. This car still has a lot of the push that the DW12 did in dirty air. Henry Bennett looks to make a move on the outside to get really thin up there. Power move by Bennett as he goes by Cheneth.
Yeah, that thing doesn't look as strong in dirty air right now, that's for sure, because it's really bobbling around with 1 and 2 with maybe how it's set up. He's got to find a way to try and get that under control in traffic right now, especially if he wants to get by Bennett and catch up to Kinsella like he is, because Kinsella is starting to try and check out a bit down the backstretch.
Well, listen, a friend of most race cars is the clean air, and Boy, Kinsella is able to turn that car just like he wants right now. Bennett kind of back there in the wash just a bit. Going to be hard for him to find a good move now. Kenneth well back in dirty air here, so this really serves Kinsella well. Dawson back just behind them. Pretty good battle between Rugenbrink and Jamie Wilson and Liam Quinn.
Yeah, we saw these two were racing a little bit earlier. Quinn going to take that high line through this corner. Now watch the run he gets out here. Just not quite enough. I don't know. I think in this new car, that draft effect that we've always talked about in IndyCar, it's not as strong as it has been in the past.
Well, still good solid racing here throughout the field. All 16 still rolling. Up front, it's still Andrew Kinsella here now. Had it for a few laps. He's enjoyed this lead. The car just looks solid right now. It looks really planted. He looks smooth. Oh, now we get just behind him. Kenneth's going to go to the bottom here on Bennett.
Yeah, Bennett went way too tight on the exit of 2 and almost tank slapped the wall with the side pods. So he has to give up the spot quickly to Kenneth there. Just shows, again, that tightness. Some of these drivers, they have it set up where it's more faster for the exit. Some of them, more going towards the straightaways. And I think with Bennett, might be set up where it's faster down the straight.
Wait, Ray Kingsbury with a big problem back there. It was him and Liam Quinn side by side. Ray got really got a lot of push, took the car all the way up to the wall, might have even skinned it just a bit.
Yeah, and I think Thomas Kick was the one who got the worst of that situation because he just bounced around the track after getting bumped behind. That's going to bring up the caution.
It is. Good catch there, Justin. And, boy, looks like there may Kick. I see what happened. Kick started to run up the hill and got out of the throttle just a little bit. Poor James King had nowhere to go, or was that Youngbloth that hit him? That was King that hit him. More bad luck for James King here on board with him. Man, he can't buy any luck right now, guys.
Yeah, he definitely can't here. Just, again, timing up runs that time. Had a decent line, but as you see, just a bit slower up there. Kingsbury up there, as you see, Kick, pardon me, was. That led to, of course, getting bumped and behind. So just nothing really that could be done there, but we're going to have a bit of a pit party because this is a round where it's still into where you have to make about 2 stops, but it makes it to where for if you try and stretch it to 1, it's going to be just about the lap 120 mark, give or take, when they run out of fuel.
Well, Randy Kenneth decides to stay on track. Everybody else coming on in, he thinks he's good. 15 laps and he knows he's got a lot more left in that car. We think really, what we've been told and what we probably know is about 50, maybe 52 laps, probably closer to 50. Tires should hold up for most of the run, but boy, I'll tell you what, when the car gets light on fuel, it does get wicked. And if Randy is planning to stay out here for the length of a fuel run, that'll be his biggest enemy as opposed to the rest of the traffic behind him.
I think Randy, instead of getting fresh rubber like everybody else, he's going to get fresh air. He's going to be starting out in front, and if he can hold out there, we know how fast his car is. I think he might be playing to get a better start and running that clean air for a little bit longer.
You know what? I think that taste of dirty air he had left a really foul a stench in his mouth, and I think he would like to be up here up front where the clean air is, and he saw what Kinsella was able to do with that. So if he doesn't get into a dogfight here with Kinsella, maybe he can maybe a little bit of outguessing Kinsella here on the start will be Chenleth's best friend here. We'll see as we continue to lap around Gateway Motorsports Park. Early on in this race, guys, we've still got a ways to go. 104 laps still here to knock out tonight here in Illinois, just across from the arch, guys, on the Missouri side.
Yeah, it's just this is definitely an absolutely beautiful facility that we've seen with both NASCAR and IndyCar racing for sure, where it's definitely an absolute staple on the schedule to a lot of people. And it's definitely a facility that provides, as you've seen, a lot of good action.
Yeah,
All right.
it's not just limited to NASCAR and IndyCar. I mean, they bring super late models here and race, so it's just about everything. A really cool facility.
All right, boys, down the backstretch we come. It's going to be Kenneth, Kinsella, Bennett, Rugenbrink, Jamie Wilson, your top 5. And a single file restart here. They come around now in through the middle of the turn. That pit road entrance here just off the exit of the turn. And here we go. Kenneth gets on it quick. Wow, he didn't waste any time. The green is now out. He is going to come across the line there first, and he is going to put a little bit of a gap there between him and Andrew Kinsella. I think he did catch Kinsella sleeping just a little bit there. Kenneth went just as soon as the pace car pulled off. Now, go ahead.
I think it definitely caught a lot of people to third on back as well, because most of them were staying up on that high side. Kinsella and Kenneth were the only ones on the lower grooves, and now you can see he's finally caught on. Kinsella, he's going to have to fight hard, though, for this turn 1 and 2.
Boy, Kinsella's really got some good straightaway speed, but has to settle back in the line, and Kenneth is going to win that battle just a little bit. He wins the first battle here. Now let's see if he can get down the road, maybe open up a little bit of a gap. No, Kinsella is going to fight back. Going to try and get back to the point here. They go side by side through the turn. Down the back stretch, and boy, you saw the bad push Kinsella got there. He had to get out of it. Kenneth gets away. Here comes Bennett to the inside. Bennett putting the move on Kinsella.
I don't like how Kinsella's trying to time out his passes, where it's losing him positions now when he's trying to go on the bottom side with 1 and 2 with that tight condition. So I think now he has to be patient once again, because we've seen this before, nor with these kind of cars already in this race in the past few minutes, mind you. And now he's going to have to fight with Jamie Wilson, who's right on his heels now too.
Wilson has a great car too, because that's Randy's teammate, and I'm sure that they're sharing information and getting their cars to be as fast as possible.
And I think something just happened up at the front too, because Kenneth really checked up somewhat near the end of the straightaway where they got all bunched up, and that really cost Wilson.
Yeah, it did. Wilson obviously falling way back there. Rugenbrink. Oh, and here we go. Bennett got to make a move on Kenneth now. Heading down into turn 2. Bennett down on the bottom. Kenneth stuck up top. Oh, here comes Kinsella. Yikes. Oh, and Bennett going to lose out on that. A big sacrifice, big loss. Kenneth stays on point. He's able to get that desired little space between him and everybody chasing him. And guys, it looks like that was the plan for Kenneth. Keep the car up front. Good call there.
Looks like a good call, but right now, this is where it really starts to factor in, because he's just going to have to tuck behind a Kinsella. Just got the perfect run, and now it's going to be absolute battling down the front stretch.
They're playing the game. Kenneth's going to be the car with the bad push there. Boy, you saw how much time he loses to Kinsella down the backstretch. Now Bennett looking to the outside of Kenneth. Rugenbrink in the popcorn position, just kind of hanging out there, waiting for something to happen. Now the Kingsburys have made it up through. Here's Ray, just behind Rugenbrink, and the caution's out again, guys. Oh, it was Timu Toyka, guys, that had big trouble. Was it a self-spin? I believe it was. Looked like maybe he got a little bit too much of the curb down there, got his left front down on that curb. Or maybe it started to get a little tight before he hit that, Dawson.
Yeah, I think it wasn't the curb. The curb definitely didn't help, but the car looked like it wanted to go down there, and you know, that was a lot like his teammate James King's spin, getting loose right there in that same spot.
Yeah,
Well, that was a tough knock. Heavy damage on that car, Justin.
absolutely, because the reason he got the damage, he tried to save it, and of course, as you've seen, bounced off that pit entrance wall. So, he's in the same situation as his teammate. Have to come in, get that thing fixed, or else you're going to be done for the day, and hopefully it takes a little amount of time for him as he can. So, but everyone's going to come out right on in for the most part, except for Quinn, Wilson, as well as Bennett and Kinsella. So this is where the fuel part of the strategy start to really come on in.
Yeah, Kinsella going to take over the lead of this race. Cheneth decides to go ahead and bring it down. Rugenbrink comes in right behind him. So Kinsella, Bennett, Wilson, and Quinn all stay out. All on the same strategy right now. And, boy, I'll tell you what, the battle up front, fun to watch. But, again, it really highlights... Oh, Chen is slow in the pits?
Yeah, he's still there.
Oh, boy.
I don't know what maybe it took so long, but because that was a 16-second pit stop.
Yeah.
Like, he definitely had to lift up the jacks to take tires. So something happened where, looking at this right now a bit on my end, where it just looked like just a standard pit stop, just a bit longer than expected, and then having to roll right on out. That's going to lose him a lot of time. In fact, just going to lose him to the point where he's all the way back to 13th because of this.
Wow. That definitely odd, and that definitely puts him in a precarious position here in the back of the field. Well, he's got a lot of work to do, guys, and guess what? He's got plenty of time to get it done. Still a lot of this race left. Lights remain here on the pace car. Andrew Kinsella back to the front now, and I think we can't highlight enough how important being up front is at this track. It has worked out for everyone who's been up here, and Kinsella, smart to stay out. I really, really think this is going to come down to some solid strategy, guys, whether it be tires or fuel, probably more likely fuel.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to run out of gas for sure in this kind of a situation. So this is where, again, strategy after strategy is starting to come into play, as you're seeing here. Just everyone's trying to one-up each other. You still, I think, have to go into that two pit stops window, basically, even if you get a bunch more cautions. And so this is going to be interesting once we get back going to green, and if we have a long green flag run of who is on what in terms of fuel. I think it's a mixed bag at this point with how we're running.
It looks like Timu Toika's gotten out of the car, guys. Just checked in on him. Looks like day may be done for Timu. All right, the lights are out, boys. Andrew Kinsella gets ready to lead him around here behind the pace car. Under yellow flag one last time. Andrew Kinsella, Henry Bennett, Jamie Wilson, Liam Quinn, Michelle Rugenbrink. That is your top five. And here we go.
Yeah, I think you definitely got to watch for sure how Henry Bennett times it out with Kinsella. We've seen Kinsella time it out when following the same line that Randy Cheneth was to try and diamond it off of for when that pace car was dropping off the track. I wouldn't be surprised to see it potentially this time. It looks like everyone is sticking alongside the wall for the most part, except for Kinsella's going right in the middle of the track.
Yeah. Yep. Good point right there is now they get through the exit of 4. Pace car's off. Cheneth holds up this time. Holds up a lot, and now he's gone. Yeah, he was a lot later on the pedal that time, and it really stacks up the field behind him. A great restart, actually. Very competitive restart. But, boy, Randy pulls away from... Kinsella pulls away from Bennett really quick there. I think Bennett was really the only big loser on the start, guys, because everybody else looked to get off really well.
Yeah, I think so too. It's already, he closed it up a 10th here, but it's going to take a few laps to try and wind this up with the slipstream. Just everyone really else had really good starts basically in this entire field. Everyone else is around 0.3 of a second, 0.2 of a second. Battle meanwhile, Wilson and Quinn.
Yeah, look at those two go at it here early in this run. Quinn gets down there on the bottom. Oh, comes right back up in front of him. That was close. And Wilson thought about crossing him over, and Wilson gets a lot of push, takes the car all the way up to the wall there, Dawson.
Yeah, and just in a little bit here, Rugenbrink, we just saw him right behind. He took a pass on Ray Kingsbury. He'd be the next car to take a stab at Jamie Wilson.
Yeah, just everyone, I think, is just trying to time things out. Wilson, though, definitely struggling with 1 and 2 at this point, because in turn number 2, couldn't get it to the high side. Now he's going to potentially get passed on the outside if he's not careful here. Instead, it's going to help Kingsbury because Rugenbrink was not on that preferred line for 3 and 4. So everyone now trying to line themselves up. I think, though, for Rugenbrink, it's going to work out for him because he's on that preferred outside line for 1 and 2. No, it's not, because look at that checkup again. Wilson's got something with how his car is handling that's really hurting him out of turn number 2.
Yeah, open the door here for Ray Kingsbury. Here he comes, gets under Rugenbrink, gets by. Now looking to take over Jamie Wilson. All of a sudden, Ray Kingsbury, someone we're talking about again here. Getting a good run, and boy, a lot of push, but he reels it in. Gets a good go at Jamie here. Gonna look to the inside. Gonna get there first. Gonna hold on to it, and he's gonna clear Jamie. Up to 4th for Ray Kingsbury. And another caution, guys. Dave Walsh having big trouble.
And we've been talking about this 3 and 4 apex of the corner. Just swung around on his own again and tank slapped that wall once again. My goodness. Just something about that corner is just throwing a lot of drivers off when they're driving on their own, it looks like today.
Yeah, and Dave takes the, go ahead, Dawson, but Dave takes the toe in.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the weight jackers or what it is. These cars, I mean, again and again and again, you know, you would think that if they're trying to loosen these cars up as they go, if they get like 10 laps on these tires, are they just using too much weight jacker, or is it the car itself?
Yeah, that's a really good point there. Hard to know exactly what they're doing. It is an open set, so they do have everything available to them. And those weight jackers, like you were saying, Dawson, that adjustment to the car, if maybe you can try and explain that just a little bit, what it really means about how you're shifting that weight around.
Yeah, so basically you just, they have the weights in the cars and you're able to move it to one side or the other to either tighten the car up or loosen it up. And you get, I believe it's 10 clicks either way, so you get, 20 total adjustments there. And as a run goes on, guys will set cars up to where you start with the weight jacker on one side and then slowly move it to the other so that your car is consistently, as the tires wear off, as the fuel gets lower, all of that, you're able to adjust the car to keep it comfortable and drivable.
All right, well, hopefully the rest of the field can keep it comfortable and drivable here. And what we have now is your top 3. Kinsella, Bennett, Quinn, and actually Jamie Wilson, all on the same strategy. They stay out. Those cars have been out there for a while. Cheneth, Rugenbrink, Youngbluth, and that's it. They're on their own strategy. And then everybody else behind them here at this point on the strategy where they just came in, took tires and fuel. And, well, we know they can do 50. I mean, you never know when a green flag run is going to break out, guys. If it's here, certainly guys like Matt Kingsbury, Dennis Garrison, Johan Vandenbelt, they've got the upper hand.
Yeah, they definitely do. And I think that's why a lot of the drivers want to come in whenever they can. Not just, simply tires, of course. Fuel. Make sure they have that preferred strategy. We're about 40 laps into this race, coming to the line this time by. So this is somewhere where if you're not on that strategy where you can capitalize on the caution, more caution, it's going to hurt you when the green flag does come out, track position or not, because you're going to potentially get those positions back if there is a long green flag run. You do have that upper hand, Dawson.
Yeah, and we saw this with Cheneth last run. He had to start in the back because of something. We're not sure what, but he was able to make his way back to 6th or 7th place. So we know that how important them tires were just for that little run. And now imagine if had that kept going and going, and had cars in front of him not had tires. So I think that making your way through the field if you have a car like his is very doable.
Well, fellas, guess what? The lights are out again. Andrew Kinsella still in the lead of this race. It'll be Henry Bennett chasing him here on the restart. Liam Quinn, Ray Kingsbury, and Jamie Wilson. This will be fun here. A lot of good driving here early. We still have 13 cars on track on the lead lap. Walsh still sits in the pit stall. Guys, pace a little bit slower than initially expected here, but I say look for the racing to get hot. We've had a little bit of attrition. Generally, when you've had a little bit of attrition, sometimes things start to sort themselves out and you get to some fast running. Could be it here, as everybody is now taking their shot of 5-hour energy and are ready to go. Kinsella on it quick. Make no mistake, he knows where he wants to put that car. Henry Bennett, again, off to a slower start than he would have liked, and that's the battle behind. Kinsella off to a great jump there. Everybody chasing Bennett, Liam Quinn, Jamie, Ray Kingsbury. And Kingsbury's actually started to drop Jamie Wilson. Left Jamie Wilson there to battle with Michelle Rugenbrink, guys.
Yeah, Wilson, again, having the issues with turn number 2. He's been having to let off the gas on the exit rather than gunning it here. And this is going to get him almost ran over because Rugenbrink was right there. Look who's there, Cheneth. We're going 3 wide down the backstretch, as Cheneth's going to make 2 spots and move into the top 5 in one go.
Yeah, that's not taking long for him to recover. Up front, another battle here, and it's Bennett and Quinn. Bennett's going to hang on to it. Rugenbrink, Cheneth still battling back there, Justin.
Yeah, he is. He's not on that preferred line, and that really lost him a heck of a lot of speed. Kingsbury was able to take advantage. The Matt Kingsbury. And now he's going to move up a couple spots if he can get this to single file, and he's doing exactly that. But again, Cheneth is faster with the toe. Had to definitely back off, though, there, because he almost ran to the back of Kingsbury and almost climbed up that back wing, as he's going to watch these guys go 2 wide all the way down the backstretch.
Dawson, is Rugenbrink in a good spot there?
Oh, boy, I think he is. I like where he's at right now. And I think the more that now Kingsbury and Cheneth battle, the better he has the chances of getting away. But here comes Cheneth looking. No, he's not going to be able to. Yeah, he is able to clear Kingsbury. But yeah, look at the lead that Rugenbrink has built up.
Yeah, the lead pack, the top 4 have kind of gotten away. Rugenbrink almost dealing with clean air, really, if you think about it, in front of him. And speaking of clean air, Liam Quinn looking for it right now against Ray Kingsbury. Kingsbury battling down there on the bottom, but Quinn getting a really, really nice run off the top. He's going to get that 3rd spot, wrestle it away from Ray Kingsbury.
And that high line still plays to these drivers' advantages when they're on that line. So this is how they really got it set up. But again, he's got to think about Kingsbury here with the slipstream. Going faster speeds, of course, than having to brake on the gas, get on the brakes a bit here. Kingsbury's trying to do something different where he's trying to dime in the corner so a little bit on the exit of 4 as something's going on.
Yeah, Matt Kingsbury just slapped the wall. Got a little bit of arrow push. Boy, Jamie Wilson able to get by him, and now Dennis Garrison.
I'm afraid that car might be hurt a little bit. He hit that pretty good. I saw that from up here where I was looking. We've actually got a replay of it. Dawson, you can't knock these things around too hard. You can't get away with too many of those tank slappers.
No, there's just little arrow bits.
Oh, and the caution's out. Oh, it's Matt Kingsbury. It was Kingsbury and Johan Vandenbelt get together.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is where the build-up from hitting the side pod like that is. We've seen this in practice, and this time, with the amount of damage really losing that, you see the car really sparking in the corners, in fact, from the bit of the damage there. Almost got tied again, and then Vanderbilt just gets caught up with them. They crash into the track entry point, and so that got Kingsbury got the worst of that, but Vanderbilt also definitely very much damaged after that one, to the point where I believe he's not even on the racetrack. In pit.
Yeah, I think Johan's car got serious suspension damage on that. Matt Kingsbury's car is going to be heavily damaged. And right now, the whole field coming down, except for Randy Cheneth, going to stay out on track.
Kingsbury's trying to limp it back. It's pretty interesting, too, because he's only got 2 tires working for him.
Now, here's an interesting one, guys. Fabian Jungbluth stays out on track in his Hedges and Benson IR-18. And it's one of my favorite paint jobs in this series, actually. Him and Randy stay out. They are on the same strategy, guys. And so I wonder here, maybe a little something at play with these two, but everybody else behind them electing to come in the pit. And with that, we're going to take a quick break here on the Global SimRacing Channel. We're back bringing you all the action here in just a moment. Welcome back to Global SimRacing Channel's coverage of the absolute beginners IndyCar League here today at Gateway Motorsports Park. Coming out of the caution here, Randy Cheneth is going to be your leader elects to stay out with Fabian Jungbluth. And a lot of feisty, hungry IR-18s behind them. Your top 5 to restart here: Randy Cheneth, Fabian Jungbluth, Andrew Kinsella, Henry Bennett, and Liam Quinn. Take us around and get us ready to rock and roll once again. We are approaching the halfway point of this race. Just about everybody up towards the top of the track. Cheneth going to keep it down on the inside here. Now he comes up the track just a little bit in that center groove. Pace car in. Cheneth gone. Boy, and Fabian Jungbluth really falling asleep on that start. Here comes Andrew Kinsella right up alongside him. Kinsella looks to take the position early here. He's going to do it right into the first turn. Waste no time. Kinsella got to go catch Cheneth. Cheneth gets off to a monster start. And they're battling behind. Bennett looking to the bottom here. Bennett going to drop Fabian Jungbluth. Jungbluth not able to hang on to Randy Cheneth and use him as a partner. He's going to continue to drop through the field just behind him. Ray Kingsbury, Liam Quinn going at it, guys.
Quinn going to get a little tight now. Wow, Kingsbury with a power move right around Fabian Jungbluth.
Man, Kingsbury making a big move there to pick up a couple of spots. Just behind them, Rugenbrink, it was almost 3 wide. Dennis Garrison, Jungbluth, and Rugenbrink all getting through there. Crazy stuff going on after this restart, boys.
Yeah,
and a battle for the lead. Sorry, guys. Battle for the lead. Kinsella goes to the bottom. Cheneth, he's going to clear, and he spins. Kinsella's around. Woo. Oh, right in the racing line. Everybody gets around him. Wow. Man, and Cheneth is going to be the lucky one here. I mean, Cheneth was almost right up under him here. It could have been disaster for both of them. Great job by Kinsella to just stay put. Locks him up. Guys, amazing. We'll go on board with Cheneth here.
I'm still speechless on that because that could have been an absolute disaster right in the center of the racetrack. That's not just good job by Kinsella to keep that from going and bouncing off walls or anything. That was a great job from everyone behind him to see the awareness of this. Look at this from up on top. He was going for that run, was on the preferred line, had the lead, mind you, just about sealed up. But again, that trouble in the apex of turn 3 and 4 spins him around. Everyone goes around him. His car is completely clean. He's just got to get some fresh tires after that. Man, oh man.
Kinsella did pick up a little bit of wing damage. Now, that is going to cost him a little bit of extra time in the pits just to get that wing replaced. But the rest of the car looks fine. And, boy, he did get away with one there.
Yeah, I would say for the situation that he was in, he'll take that little bit of damage, no problem.
And the new wing is on. He's in good shape, guys. Wow, that was exciting.
Yeah, that was definitely exciting. I got to say that for sure. He's going to have to try and find a way to work through again, but I think if he gets about a caution or two, he's going to be able to at least get in the top 10.
Sure.
By the time we get to restart a few laps in. He's going to maybe need a little bit of luck, though, because of the way we've been seeing the battles back and forth, and the ability of, because of those back and forths, the lead cars that are, when they're lined up single file, to pull on away from the rest of the groupings. We've seen that about a 2.1 second gap for one of the green flag runs today so far. That might be the one thing that really hurts him for his chance to try and come back, as he's just outside the top 10 right now.
Well, our leader, Mr. Cheneth, actually did the same thing that Kinsella's going to have to do.
Yeah.
So, and look at where he's sitting right now. So it's very doable.
It's exactly great point, Dawson. It is doable, and now it's Kinsella that's got to roll up his sleeves and get to work here at Gateway.
Yep, he just needs to basically have with Randy at the last caution, I believe before that, he was around 7th spot, was able to get the runs he needed to get towards the front all the way up to being up the lead now. So Kinsella, he might be able to do the same thing if he gets a caution around that same time point. Maybe he stays out, goes back to the lead just like that, and play the track position game. So a lot of strategy can come through the minds of these drivers, especially now, because we're already at about coming to lap 59, coming towards the halfway point of this race. It's going to be a heck of a lot more wilder than this for the final 60 laps or so when we come back to green.
Yeah, are we seeing a little bit of damage on Jamie Wilson's car too?
You know, I'm wondering. In fact, is he missing part of his wing? I think he's missing that.
Yeah.
Right there.
On the broadcast, it's showing the wing completely gone, but I only have just it bent up a little. So.
Yeah, I'm seeing it. The left front side of the wing is gone, and you know, maybe he clipped Kinsella on that spin. It's very possible. He's got a little bit of side pod damage on that machine too. So, interesting thing here that Wilson's dealing with.
I think he hit the wall a little bit or something on the front stretch on the inside wall trying to avoid that. I'm not 100% sure. Just looked at the replay myself. 1 minute he's got a clean car. Next minute, left side pods destroyed. Left front tires pointed up. I don't know what to say about that one.
I'm looking at it too. It looks like he's about a foot away. And
All right, fellas. Well, here we go. The king of chins, Randy Cheneth, ready to go. Team Chimera driver on his way down the front stretch. The pace car is off, and he is away. Gets the run on Henry Bennett. Bye-bye. Bennett left to deal with Ray Kingsbury. Cheneth nails it there just off the turn at the exit. Gets a nice run, gets things going here. Bennett able to get away from Ray Kingsbury. And Rugenbrink has been the big wild card all night. I don't think he's left the top 5 at any point. Certainly looks like a threat. And just behind Rugenbrink, they look to go 3 wide. Guys, Jamie Wilson's still battling with half a wing there.
It doesn't seem... Pardon me, Brock?
yeah, no, go ahead. I think you and me were going to say the same thing. It doesn't look like it's affecting him that much.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking there, too. It's not affecting him whatsoever, in fact, with the speed right now, but maybe we should go to Kinsella because he's got the speed and he's moving up fast.
Bennett getting under Randy Cheneth. Oh, they're side by side coming off the exit there. Bennett's still going to be on the bottom, but no, he's going to have to get in behind. He could not get the speed down the straightaway. Henry made a big shot at trying to take down Randy Cheneth. It didn't work. You guys did, and I heard you say that Kinsella was coming up through the field quick there, guys.
Yep, he is in 7th spot right now after making 2 passes in 1 corner, and he's coming up quick to Jamie Wilson. Can we go on board with this because he's zooming up forward, but we have the battle for the lead.
Yeah, change for the lead. Bennett actually takes it that time. Cheneth's going to try and take it back, and no, he's going to get right in behind him as they went across the start-finish line. Now Cheneth, the meat in the sandwich here. Liam Quinn just behind him on his tail, up his gearbox. Quinn looking to make a move. Quinn looks to the outside. He's going to try and come along. Quinn trying to make the bold move here for the top. Wow, Bennett goes all the way down the bottom of the track trying to get the draft broken. Ooh, Bennett up to the point, boys. The 007 finally leading this race. He brought
Jamie Wilson is back, just threading the needles. All 3 of them cars having about the same color, and wow.
Something's got to be off with Cheneth's car right now because he has just absolutely fallen off completely. Got to be something involving tires, maybe tire pressure, tire wear.
I think it's wear. I think he's just used them up, but approaching 40 laps on the run for those tires. Everybody ahead of him are much, much fresher tires. They have now started to pull away. Here comes Kinsella now looking to take down Rugenbrink. God, and Liam Quinn up front trying to battle for the lead. I thought he was making a run at Bennett. Don't want to jump around too much here. Kinsella still trying to set up this run.
Yep, he's being absolutely patient here, just trying to set him on up. He's a bit faster right now for sure compared to Rugenbrink right now. I think he's waiting though until he reaches turns 3 and 4, because this is where he gets on the gun, gets a great exit on turn 2. If he can go side by side, he should be able to get the 5th spot. Gonna have to wait one more lap here to be able to get that run out of turn 2 to set that up for 3 and 4.
Dawson, they're still really battling hard up front too here. As Liam Quinn tries to unlock the key to figuring out what he needs to do to get around Bennett.
Say we have about 50 more laps left in this race, and we still don't know what these cars can do on a long run. Who's fast, who's slow. I mean, there's a whole nother story to the side of this. Henry Bennett, Liam Quinn, they're doing really great. Ray Kingsbury, but boy, you got to know that Jamie Wilson, Andrew Kinsella, they always have really fast cars on that long run. So we'll see. It looks like overall they're gaining on these leaders.
Yeah, they really are starting to come forward here, and you know, I think the problems that we thought Jamie Wilson had may have been some iRacing netcode that we may have been dealing with here, and that's okay, because I think everything is okay with Jamie Wilson's ride, and we don't need to worry about that anymore. He's finally gotten around Rugenbrink and is now getting to work on chasing down Ray Kingsbury here, and boy, I'll tell you what, we're gonna have a pretty good 4-car battle up front here real soon, because yes, you are absolutely correct. They are starting to really close in on these leaders here.
And don't sleep on Rugenbrink either. You know, you've mentioned how good his car has been in the top 5 basically all day. He's right there too with Wilson.
Yeah, everyone's just about evening out in terms of speed too, even with the slipstream. So I think right now everyone's just trying to settle into a rhythm. They know this is where the green flag run's going to come in. Some drivers, they're not going to be able to make it all the way on fuel. It's going to be very close for some others right now. So I think everyone just being patient, especially with the tire wear, making it even more difficult to try and set up a pass. That's exactly what's going on with everyone being single file at this point.
Well, there is a battle at the back of the field. David Burns and Fabian Jungbluth having a go at it. Now, they are a little bit behind here, behind pace, but they are on the lead lap, and it is a battle for 9th. Jungbluth doing a pretty good job, but Burns having an awful lot of trouble setting him up. Now he's going to look at it, go down to the bottom, and he's going to get by Jungbluth. He worked on that for about 3 laps, guys. That's how long it took him to finally figure that out and dial it in. Battle for second is on, boys. Battling all over the place here. Quinn, Kingsbury. There's another battle right behind them. Quinn runs it almost up to the wall. Just behind them, Rugenbrink had just got in front of Jamie Wilson. Oh, and another side-by-side back there. Kinsella, side-by-side with Dennis Garrison. Garrison does not want to give up that 7th place spot. 6th place spot. No, I was right. 7th.
I have to wonder a little bit. Maybe he saved a bit of time by not taking tires with the wing replacement. But again, this is where tire wear is coming down. He's really starting to fall off a little bit speed-wise as they've caught up to Cheneth and Garrison right now for the time being. That group, though, they got to find a way to get some speed and maybe work together a bit. They're about now a full second just under that from 5th place and Jamie Wilson now.
And don't look now, man, but Henry Bennett is checking out on these guys.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, man.
Go. Wow. We just took a little break, looked at some battles, you know, farther back, and next thing you know, he's got a second, almost a 1.5 second lead.
Love it. Henry having a great run here. Hey, man, the UKI has shown up strong today, boys. Liam Quinn is the driver in second. And he has got a little bit of a gap on Ray Kingsbury. Kingsbury having to deal with the dirty air right now and not having any fun with it. Rugen Brink keeping it close. And guys, just a little while ago, James King, I don't know, probably about 5 minutes ago, he had a bit of a tank slapper, and he is out of this race now. James, I think, has finally retired the car. In fact, he has.
Yes,
he was a few laps down, but unfortunately had to retire that car.
Yeah, that came to where the exit of turn 2 ended up biting him in that case, and I think it's really starting to hurt some of the drivers in terms of setups right now. With what we're seeing, like for Kinsella right now, that was his bread and butter for on fresh tires, and at the start of this run, he's fallen way off and is starting to lose the draft of Cheneth right now for the time being right now.
Okay, now Cheneth, let's talk about Cheneth real quick. Cheneth's going to pit here any moment. All right, I'm sure he wishes he'd get a yellow flag right now, but things are spread out unless somebody makes a mistake. He is going to have to come in live under green. It'll be it will be our first green flag stop we've seen tonight. Cheneth back riding in 7th, continuing to lose time to the leaders. But again, it's about time for him to peel off. One stop, he can make it. Here he is. And he's going to be followed by Kinsella. Kinsella going to take a note there and come on in with him.
Ooh.
That might have been very close to speeding, if not, because the speed limit's about 45. It looked like he was around in the 50 range on my end here, so Kinsella
And China. Both of them came in really hot.
Yeah, they did. We'll watch the pit times on him there. Henry Bennett still at the front. Everybody's still battling behind him, though. Liam Quinn's chasing, but Ray Kingsbury still being hounded by Michelle Rugen Brink. Ray Kingsbury's in, guys.
Andrew Kinsella was a really slow stop. I think
Yeah.
the police got him for speeding.
I think you're right.
That was around the time that Randy had to sit around there in the stalls too, give or take, when under one of the yellow flag conditions. So this is going to absolutely cost him the race in this situation, all the way falling back. He's got to find a way to gain that time and quick now too. So this is all the way back to 10th for the time being, but this could be what ends up with his race here.
Yeah, and green flag stops here will ensure that you're going to get off the lead lap. So not wasting time in the pit. That's just really, like you said, Justin, really hard to recover from. Quinn is in. Liam Quinn comes down. Michelle Rugen Brink and Dennis Garrison stay out on the track. Dennis Garrison now up to 3rd, guys.
He's got a pretty fast car. We haven't talked about him that much tonight, but it's interesting to see if he can keep this up for the rest of this run at the very least. You can tell the way it's set up is to try and get more speed down the straightaways. That's how he's trying to set this up right now and try and maybe leapfrog one more spot at the very least and try and maybe get some clean air if he can pull away to catch up to Bennett, because Bennett is still at about 4.8 seconds ahead right now with this battle for second.
Liam Quinn pulling back onto the track now, coming out of the safety road.
And Henry Bennett headed in.
Yep, everyone's starting to come in. You see Kingsbury on your screen had trouble a little bit with Quinn trying to get around him, but I think at this point, everyone's going to try maybe follow the leader for the most part at this point. If they're not around the fuel, of course, there's all kinds of different strategies. Garrison's also going to come right on in.
Yep. Well, Michelle Rugen Brink is finally going to get the lead of this race, guys.
Yeah, but the question is, can he hold on to it?
Yeah, well, Tell you what, he's got 40 laps on this run. Be interested to see what he does here, how far he pushes it. If I'm him, I try and keep it out for maybe a little bit longer here and see if maybe, just maybe, something erupts into a caution behind the field. Pretty spread out right now, but we've got a couple of cars still battling on track, and two of them are Jamie Wilson and Andrew Kinsella.
And he's trying to get one of his laps back right now at this point. With the fresher tires, he's definitely making a difference right now, speed, and that's why I think Jamie Wilson decided to come on in, seeing that big-time difference between the two.
And I'd have to think that's probably going to do it for Rugenbrink and Burns. Battle for fifth. What do we got here? Ray Kingsbury, Liam Quinn. Quinn going to power off the top of the turn, but got really close to the wall there. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Boy, Rugenbrink just hoping for a caution at this point.
Yeah.
He's going to end up losing positions with that short pit.
Certainly love the idea. He gets an A for effort. He's going to get killed on the execution now.
Yeah. I understand that it's following the race trends, but he needs some kind of luck. Now you have David Burns coming in here. He's got to come in within the next 6 to 8 laps, give or take, right now, or else he's going to run out of fuel. I don't think 20 laps is going to even have anywhere near enough time to execute as Kinsella. He's going to get one of his laps back right about now.
Burns is in at second place, coming in.
I think if you're Rugenbrink at this point, I think you've made your bed. You might as well lay in it. You know, you're going to lose maybe one more spot if you continue to stay out until that thing is dry. And as you can see, Kinsella goes right on by. So I think at this point, why not?
Well, Bennett right now sits in second and stands to gain this lead when Rugenbrink has to come in, unless we get a caution here. Anything can happen over these next several laps, but Rugenbrink is on the verge of getting to the end of his fuel load, so that car got to be pretty tough to handle right now. And he's got a little bit of pressure on him here to, one, perform, keep the car going, and two, to get a perfect pit stop if it leaves him any chance to come out and compete with Bennett and Quinn and Kingsbury there after the stop.
Yep, and right now, even with the caution still, that is not... You basically may as well put that out of the window right now. Now, he's lapped the field right now. That's what he's trying to do, gain as much time as he can right now. But again, undercut's not going to really work. I think he's got to come in within this time or next time by, based on my math with this. Or else he's going to run out of fuel probably somewhere down the backstretch within that 2.5, 3 lap window here.
Well, he says no this time.
I think he said it best, Austin. I think he's made his bed and he's chosen to lay in it here until the very end. He's going to run this car out just as long as he can and hope for the best.
And Kinsella hasn't pulled away from him massively. I mean, yeah, he got around him and he got past him. He's probably about a second and a half up the road. But I don't think Rugenbrink is as slow as we might think.
No, he's still turning 25.7s. The rest of the guys are 25.4s and 25.5s. So he's not, 0.2 of a second. It's not a major fall off at all.
Yeah, but look at the fastest times too, where he has the fastest lap of the race at a 25.023. It's not a lack of having pace. It's currently a lack of time on the wristwatch, so to speak, when he does come into this. As you see what the battle's on your screen, P number 6.
Yeah, can't ignore those going on here. Garrison Gets around up top. Gets by Jamie Wilson. Great move by Garrison there. Garrison doing some heavy racing here late in this race. We've only got 19 laps to go, guys.
19 to go, and right now you can see Wilson wants to get that spot back, but it's going to be very tough again because that's the way this race has been really going. They're just trying to get as many points as you can. Now, though, there is now 2 cars on the lead lap because Henry Bennett just unlapped himself.
Yes, he did. Great job there by Bennett staying in this thing. Again, Bennett stands to inherit this lead when Michel Rugenbrink has to come down. He's 54 laps out on this stint. And we did have a caution flag that factored into that, and he stayed out, but he's really pushing this IR-18. Gonna milk just every last drop out of it. And Bennett is flying, guys. Fastest car on track right now.
Yeah, he's just flying.
I think he's starting to smell victory here. He's got to know that Rugenbrink can't make it. And there's Rugenbrink coming down now. Couldn't wait any longer. That's it. 55 laps.
Yeah, he really stretched the fuel there, playing around with the mixtures probably to make sure it didn't use a lot of fuel. But now he's got to hope that what he did is enough. I don't think it's going to get him be a race-winning move here with as long as he was out there because Bennett, he's already come through 3 and 4, and he's not even in the pit stalls yet.
Yep, Bennett, here he goes across the start-finish line. Bennett right behind Andrew Kinsella. And Bennett going to go back to the lead of this race. Liam Quinn going to go to second.
Rugenbrink away. A little loose out of the pits.
Yeah, I think he tried to gun it on the exit to try and get any time he can, but right now, he's all the way back into now a battle for 7th spot coming out of the pits with David Burns. Just, even if this somehow works, there's no way in heck he's going to catch up unless he has a caution here. As Burns, he's just going to try and eat him up alive if he can.
Yeah, tell you what, a lot of scenarios that could play out here in the closing laps of this race. 13 laps to go here across the line. Henry Bennett's had a great drive. Liam Quinn also. Ray Kingsbury, it's been a lot of hard work. He's got himself in 3rd. Randy Cheneth, guys, has, despite his trouble, has recovered. And he sits in 4th right now. I think he's going to be safe there if he can keep it on track. Dennis Garrison, Jamie Wilson, still a lot at stake here. For that top 5 position, Garrison holds it right now. Jamie Wilson charging. You know, Rugenbrink, for his effort, you know what? It's not all bad. He sits in 7th.
He could get a top 5 still. He's got 2 cars sitting right in front of him.
Yeah, he does. And I'm not going to fault him for the strategy. I'm going to say it again. You know, had he got a caution flag, it had worked out for him. You know what, guys? So, I mean...
I mean, if everybody pit at the same time, it'd be boring. So I guess
right.
At least you're spicing it up.
Yeah, and he is really running right now. And boy, is Jamie Wilson just struggling with the car. Boy, he fought at that time through the exit of the turn and it opened the door for Rugenbrink. And he's going to get by Wilson here. He's going to try to anyway. Wilson gets things back together. Rugenbrink's got to settle back in behind.
Yeah, I think the one positive he has with going as late as he did, fuel mixtures. He can set the mapping to as fast as it can, burn as much fuel as it can to get the most speed he can. So he's probably doing that for a top 5, but man, oh man, he really overdrove the entry there and has to back off. You
know, and there you got to factor in the push. That is a huge factor here when trying to make a pass. Rugenbrink certainly fighting that right now. He gets up alongside him. Not quite. Not quite. Couldn't get enough bite there. That's the problem, trying to get the forward bite out of the car, and you just, there is none when you're right behind, just off the tail of that machine. And Rugenbrink comes up alongside. He's going to try and take the spot from Wilson. Wilson hangs on again.
Yeah, you've seen with the gear shifts too. He's trying to maximize as many RPMs as he can to try and get this. He wants this top 5. He's hungry for this top 5. But I think right now, with the way he's getting it, it's going to be very difficult. But look in front of him. He might just have a bit of a blessing.
Trying to do it from the top now. Boy, Garrison under threat now here. Wow. And tell you what, those fresh tires and fuel there for Rugenbrink really making a big difference.
I think the double wide situation was exactly what he wanted there, because Wilson's been struggling on exit all long tonight. So that's what he was waiting for, to make the pass there on the outside, then be able to get the run on turn number 2 like he did on that high side there. Rugenbrink might have just timed it up perfectly to get that spot right there, as we have another battle on your screen.
Yeah, good job by Rugenbrink there. Liam Quinn, Ray Kingsbury. Ray, tell you what, Ray trying to stay in this thing, hold on to that pole, onto that third position. Quinn, solid in second. Now behind Ray Kingsbury, you've got Andrew Kinsella, who is unfortunately not on the lead lap anymore. So Kingsbury's safe from behind there, trying to take a bite out of Quinn. I just don't think it's going to happen. It's a little bit too far to get a run here with just 3 laps to go. Kingsbury going to dig to try and pull this off. Both of them on about the same length here on tires. I don't think that's going to be the difference. Quinn's just going to have to outdrive him here to the finish. Up front, Henry Bennett hanging on a 3-second advantage. It will be the battle for second. Quinn having what I see on my screen might be some connection issues. Hopefully things stable out for him here to the finish. Bennett going to bring it around. Come across the line here for the white flag. Bennett takes the white flag here at Gateway Motorsports Park. Just behind him, Quinn and Ray Kingsbury continue to fight it out. I don't think Ray is going to catch him. Not today. But let's go back to Bennett. Great race for Bennett. He's going to come out of 4 here at Gateway. Come down the front stretch, give a wave to the crowd, and win here at Gateway Motorsports Park in the Absolute Beginners IndyCar League. Liam Quinn going to come second. Ray Kingsbury comes home third. Randy Cheneth going to wind up with the 4th place finish. Does a really good job to survive the trouble and come through. Michelle Rugenbrink going to round out the top 5 guys. And I'll tell you what, the pit stops kind of settled everything, but some really great racing in between.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the strategy and everything, I think that green flag run at the end was a great add-on to this race. So good racing for these guys.
Yeah, it was good to get that run there at the end. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break and come right back with the results and talk to a few drivers here on the Global SimRacing Channel. Welcome back for the Global SimRacing Channel's coverage of the Absolute Beginners IndyCar League here at Gateway Motorsports Park this evening. Folks, what a race, what a finish, and here are your results. It's going to be Henry Bennett, the 007, gets the victory. Liam Quinn going to finish second tonight. Ray Kingsbury third. Randy Cheneth fourth. Michelle Rugenbrink fifth. Dawson?
Dennis Garrison gonna wound up 6th, Jamie Wilson 7th, David third degree burns. What a finish for him. Gonna get 8th, Fabian Youngblood 9th, and Andrew Kinsella 10th.
And just outside that top 10, James King, he had a nightmare of a day, finishing 54 laps down with a few different incidents. Matt Kingsbury also had bad luck for him, getting tangled up with Johan Vandenbelt. They both finished 70 and 73 laps down respectively. Dave Walsh, of course, self-spin, ended up slamming into the wall in 3 and 4, 84 laps down. Then Timu Toika, 93 laps down, 107 for Thomas Kick. After bad luck for him out of turn number 2, he comes away dead last.
All right, fellas, let's talk to our winner here and get him in the booth. Let's see, Henry Bennett. Henry, can you hear me, my friend?
I can hear it.
Henry, a big night for the UK and I with you with the win here in the 007 and Liam Quinn finishing just behind you there in the 44. Listen, I was beginning to wonder if we were going to leave you guys with enough time to get to the pub before the evening was over with all those caution flags. How did you manage to get through all that tonight?
Just patience, really. Short ovals aren't really my thing, so yeah, just patience and staying out of trouble was my strategy today.
And what about fuel? You have a long run there at the end. Were you at any point, I mean, with the way the race started, were you expecting to get that green flag run at the end?
I was hoping to. Yeah, and we planned for that. That's why we pitted under the first yellow, because we knew if we pitted then we'd be able to get to the end on just one more stop. And then on the next yellow, that helped us out a bit. Just meant we didn't have to struggle on tyres if there was a green run. And yeah, it just worked out well, the strategy, and got some nice green flag running at the end there.
Well, listen, you're sitting second in points right now. Jan Schwitter wasn't here today. You were only 7 points behind him. I think you're going to climb to the top of the points here with this win today, and boy, not bad for the team either. I mean, you guys are already on top, and you just got there by passing Petronas, and well, you're going to secure your spot at the top there. With the absence of Schwitter and Quokka today, you guys caught a little bit of a break, but it sounds like it really came down to strategy.
Oh, definitely. I think Randy Chenworth was one of the main contenders today. He had a really fast car, but he went off strategy, and that lost him a lot of track position. Yeah, that it worked out well for us today, and I think it was really important for me to get a good result today, having not scored well. I wasn't able to race 2 weeks ago at Sebring, and 4 weeks ago I ended the race early at Auto Club. So scoring good points today was really important for the championship and for my team.
Well, listen, it was a lot of fun watching you take down the victory. Me being a 007 fan myself, I can tell you that it's always nice to see that number at the top. So congratulations, go celebrate, and we will see you in a couple weeks.
Thank you. See you.
All right, that was Henry Bennett, our big winner today, and Dawson has caught up with Ray Kingsbury.
Yeah, Ray, you had a great finish today. We know that you're really good on these ovals. Was there just a little extra twist with it being Gateway with different corners and all that?
It was fun. It definitely was interesting to see how people kind of set their cars up a little different. And we definitely had a little more downforce than a lot of the cars in front of us and behind us. So it was really helping us in turn one, especially in traffic. I was able to get some runs. But the issue with that was every time we got a run, drafted, and to go pull down to make that pass into the inside of the next corner, everybody else was still in the draft, so we just couldn't get down inside there. So, yeah.
We saw some troubles with passing. Do you think that there were more people running that high downforce, or because we saw plenty of times where guys were not able to get a great run? It was just maybe get alongside of him and hope that you can make the pass in the turn.
Yeah, so I mean, at least in my case, I was definitely running high downforce, but Liam, for example, was running low downforce. So I mean, no matter what, if you're in that draft, that's just gonna pull you by the next guy. But I noticed a couple times when Liam ducked low, even when I was in the draft, he was able to at least get alongside. So I think combination of high downforce, low downforce, but Liam was definitely more trimmed out than, which hurt him in the draft. But then once he got that clean run at the end, I couldn't keep up with him too well. And the one time I did have a pass, he was able to drive right by me on the exit of the corner. So I don't know. There's a few things I probably would have done different, but maybe slightly less downforce. I don't know. Maybe a little more. I'd have to do some more testing, really.
Well, and we also saw how strategy played into this race. And I don't think tires were as important as it has been in other tracks, but they were still definitely a factor. What were your thoughts, with all them cautions right away? Were you planning that there was going to be a green flag run, or what was running through your head?
Well, I mean, yeah, for me, a green flag run was the ideal circumstance. We definitely had, I think, the best long run car. I mean, we were stuck behind a car with low downforce for that whole last stint. We were able to keep up. And that same car couldn't keep up with the other cars the stint before that when we were in a pack. So I think the long run definitely played into our hand. Unfortunately, we only got really one of them. But I noticed that as we were getting deeper into the run, we were definitely a little stronger, especially out of turns 2 and into turn 3 in the apex. I think I was the only driver hitting down near the curbs there. Everybody else was kind of up another lane.
All right, well, congrats on the great finish. In 2 weeks, we go to my home state, the Dairyland, Cheeseland, whatever you want to call it. We go to Road America. Now, I know you're a big oval guy. Are we going to see you there?
Oof. I hope I'm there. The date might keep me out of it, but we'll do our best to be there. That's the 12th or the 19th.
The 12th.
Ooh, maybe we'll be there.
Right. Well, hopefully we see you there, and maybe we can talk to you again.
I hope so. We finally got one where we managed to actually get, a finish without getting damaged. So we'll try for 2.
All right. Well, that's Ray Kingsbury with a great finish today. Sean?
Yeah, Dawson, thanks for catching that. We're going to let Justin talk to Randy Cheneth, who had an interesting run today.
Oh, I don't want to talk to Justin.
Well, how come? Oh, how come, Mr. Fourth Place finisher? How come?
I don't know. You're going to have to ask your lead commentators on that one. They're the one who threw you under the bus. Make you have to deal with me.
Yeah. Okay, Randy, of course, coming away in 4th. How are you feeling after having a pretty strong car most of the day today?
I think I'm pretty happy with it. To get the pole, I was really surprised to have pole position by the amount that I did. I was really expecting Henry and actually Andrew to be a lot closer to that in terms of the grid. So I'm happy with the qualifying. The race went pretty good. Clean air was, of course, really nice. I got a little trolled early on by first time I came down pit road. I got a black as I entered for passing cars under yellow. So I basically had to go to the back of the field. Didn't have to do a stop. Leon cleared that. It is something they will do for some of these tracks that can be an issue, but I had to go all the way to the back of the field and try to race my way up there. So I kind of had to go somewhat off on strategy, but overall it was the race was pretty good. And I'm happy I didn't smack that wall off of 2.
Yeah, but that was something where for a couple drivers that became a kind of thing where they bounced off the wall, hit their side pods, or ended up getting into incidents. For you, when it came to setting the car up for today, what was the mindset for you to try and get stronger run on the straights or a stronger run out of turn 1 and 2 to get that run for 3 and 4?
I was running a lot of downforce. I think there's a couple ways you can go with the setup here. I think you can either trim the car out and you'll be really slow through 1 and 2. You'll never be able to make anything stick on the bottom if you trim the car out, but you will be really, really quick off of 2 and then back all the way around into 1, because 3 and 4 are generally easy flat. The other call is to put a lot of downforce on the car, which I chose because there's a lot of drag and the slipstream is really strong in these cars, and it's hard for someone to really run away from someone, even if they're generally a couple tenths quicker per lap. So you mean you have clean air, and that driver behind you can pretty much just stick with you if they know a little bit about what they're doing. So I chose to run a little bit more downforce. Tended to be a little bit easier on the tires, and the car was just easier to drive. A little bit maybe less racy, but when you're kind of racing with some of those trimmed out guys, you put some aero on the car, you can make some moves down on the bottom and make something stick.
And one thing I noticed, especially in that long green flag run to end off this race, tires, because before then you had pit just one time, and you said it yourself during part of the chat where by lap 50 those tires were cooked. What was going through your mind when that situation was coming along with the tires starting to really squeal back as you dropped back to as far back as 7th spot during that situation around lap 80?
It was, I mean, the tires you start noticing drop off after about 5 laps. You start having to drive the car a little bit different. You'll start playing with things like the anti-roll bar, the weight jacker around that point. And then you're pretty much doing that all the way throughout the run. So it's something that's sort of gradual. It's not like there's not like a cliff. It's something that you can feel happening. But it's hard. You just have to be patient with it. If you get isolated down on the bottom, you just have to let it go. There's a point where I think I was fighting with Henry or Andrew or something. I think maybe after Andrew spun, but I was fighting for 2nd or 3rd, and I got isolated on the bottom, and I basically went from 2nd back to 7th or 8th in a lap. It's just sort of the way it is when you're on old tires. People are on fresher rubber, and they have that good groove through 1 and 2. Sometimes you just have to know when to give it up and when to just try to cycle back in line, which is what I went for. I will say, I mean, on old tires, the car it's tough to drive. It doesn't affect the balance too bad. It'll generally get a little tight, but it'll sort of keep, at least on the setup that we're on, it'll sort of keep the same general. It won't get crazy, but I was a little surprised, and with all the dirty air, I think a lot of people were caught out with how tight we were getting in 3 and 4 at the end of the race. Track really heated up over the course of the run, and over the race, excuse me, and of course took some rubber, and there was a little bit of breathing the throttle in 3 and 4 as well, even though we thought that was pretty much going to be easy flat all night. So it was a handful once you got late in the run, but just a little bit of management, a little bit of patience. You could generally deal with it, because my entire mindset with the way the draft worked is that it's so hard to run with it being so hard to run away from anybody. I wasn't really pushing the entire point of that race. If I got out of the line, I would just basically drop a spot and get back up into line, and if I had the line, I'd just sort of keep it up there. There was no point really going 100% the entire duration of this race. But Andrew did a good job, and Henry did a good job. Andrew hit the wall. What am I talking about?
Yeah, Andrew lost a lot of time, of course, as well, with the speeding penalty when he came in. That put him to 1 lap down to finish things off. But, of course, next challenging event for you guys in 2 weeks is at Road America. What's your mindset going into Road America for you and your teammates?
It's going to be another interesting track setup-wise for the road courses. There seems to be a couple different setup philosophies on the road stuff that I can let other drivers and teams figure out for themselves, and it's going to be interesting to see what choices people make once we go to Elkhart Lake. But I think it'll be a fantastic race. Sebring was a good run. I was having a top 4 run there as well before I made a mistake and kind of killed the car. Hopefully I can not make that mistake and have a good run, because Road America is one of my favorites.
That's for sure. Anyone who want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, shout outs to Jamie and Josh, teammates at Team Camaro, for really helping out. Simon occasionally does some stuff. I would thank James, but all he does is play World of Warcraft. Thanks to the guys at Power Slide as well. Been working with Liam Quinn a little bit, and teammate Josh is sort of working with the likes of Kinsella and Bennett, and I think Steele sometimes as well, when Steele isn't salty the fact that Chin is beating him in Indy Elite. But outside of that, thanks to those guys, and thanks to you guys for the show.
And thank you for today, and thank you for the good run. Randy Chin coming away in 4th spot. Congratulations on the top 5 finish, Randy.
Yeah, and boy, that Randy guy sounds like he's talked on a microphone before. He's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, doing work with Race Spot. I work with him a little bit here and there as well. Let's just say that.
All right. Well, listen, there's plenty of people to thank for this broadcast today. First, though, we want to start by thanking the Absolute Beginners League for organizing the Indy series here that they have and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. We also want to thank the companies, equipment, and software that you see on your screen now that we use on our broadcast and every broadcast here at GSRC. The original music that gives these broadcasts the unique flavor and feel is thanks to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them, Dawson.
The ABIL IndyCar League returns in 2 weeks from the Badger State. On May 12th, they will go to Road America. GSRC will be there to bring you all the action, and we hope that you join us. Sliding across your screen now are some of the upcoming broadcasts, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like more information about us, including a complete list of future broadcasts, you can find it all at www.globalsimracingchannel.com. And find the time to subscribe to this YouTube channel. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel.
Hey, and we're on the gram. We're on Instagram. Go pull us up there, GSRC_gram. Listen, folks, finally, on behalf of the man whose voice you just heard, Dawson, Never Say Die Brock, I want to give a special thanks to my buddy Justin. You're a real prince for stepping in today and helping us out. Great job and a lot of fun being here with you on the broadcast. I want to thank our director, Amjad Yaman, our camera artist, Dougie Beard. I'd like to thank all of you for watching. With that said, we're going to run off to have fun storming the castle for old buddy Soup. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and I'll see you on the track.